Alright. Hey guys, Dante here and welcome back to my channel, The Burgers Art. And welcome back to another Sunday night art stream. So, tweak my camera just a pinch. There we go. Let me make sure I am coming across. I am. My tablet, for some reason, is not showing me my stream right now. I know the stream is up and running because I can see it on my desktop when I switch around. But the whole reason for the tablet is so I don't have to leave my desktop. I can just draw on my desktop and look at my tablet. Anyway, that seems to be running just fine. Picardo's running just fine. As always, Picardo is not updating the chat, so I have to have that open on the side to see what, in case anyone jumps in. Very rare anyone ever actually tunes in to Picardo. There we go. Everything's up and running. Perfect. So, it is good to see everyone. The arduous journey of getting this all to work again. For those of you who might have seen the past, maybe last video, the video before that, just Restream was getting, Streamlabs was getting nothing but error messages when I would use Restream to broadcast to several accounts. Then I tried to broadcast just to Twitch, and I still was getting error messages of just like quality dropping, and there was no reason why on my end I would know of because I haven't changed any settings. So I went online and I looked up all these different tutorials. Oh, why is my chat, chugging along? Why is this chugging? So the audio is fine. It was always the video, but the audio was fine. So I went to all these different how to do videos and accounts on Reddit and you name it. And they all said the exact same thing. And not only did they all say the exact same thing, I was apparently in the perfect green based on what they said. Like everything was like, nope, this is exactly what it should be. Then I found one random article, and it was like, oh, in Streamlabs, go here and try clicking this box. That's literally what it came down to. Go here. Keep these settings like this, go to this box, click this, and maybe click that, and that should help. And here we are. And this is perfect. That way I don't have to download the videos I make off of Twitch just to re-upload them onto YouTube. Now the lovely people on YouTube get it not just live, but I don't have to document it separately. Everything's being saved back in. So if you go to my channel on YouTube, you see two videos that are set as pre-recorded streams. And that was during this weird interval. From now on, though, all my work should be broadcasting to YouTube, and therefore should be being saved in my account on my channel automatically. Yep, I can see it right there. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, so, with all of that out the way, hello guys. So today I decided, it was a debate in my mind, a mental struggle. Should I, where are you? Should I continue working on this lovely lady, Vespa? We had a edited, photoshopped layout of her bug form, of her actual wasp form, and then we did all the line work indicating where things split. The purple bug legs will be different, but they will sit there. Where's my tablet? Stop wiggling. But essentially, yeah, this was like what it was gonna look like, what she was gonna look like. So it was a toss-up between like continuing this drawing and trying to draw her robot mode. Maybe even photoshopped robot mode using some of this, but I don't know, I was a little mixed on that. Or, I think it's about due time I take this lovely mascot, Thunder, and just draw some pictures of him. Just kind of, I have a smudge, I always have a smudge. Just draw some pictures of him, because Thunder, of my card game Thunderhead needs to be finished. And part of finishing it is also advertising it. So I think we'll just do some random sketching. Just a little caveman. We're already a half hour late, so we'll do some caveman drawings. Let me shrink him down. There we go. So it's funny, you guys can't see it, but I went and took my previous image of Thunderhead, moved it to a window you can't see, but it's technically where the navigation window is. So as I'm drawing Thunderhead, he's on. It's weird. I'm sorry. Yeah. Anyway. Right. So I need to remember. How many heads is Thunderhead? When I drew this mook, when I made this guy. I'm just going to do a quick thing right now. I'm going to see how many heads did I make this idiot. On a new layer. So this is his head, right? Roughly the same kind of circle, 2. He's like, let me see. Yeah, like roughly he's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he's like 4.5 because his foot is right here. 4.5. So if it's half and half, he's 2 heads. So he's 2 heads to his crotch. He's 1, 2, yeah. So 2.5 to his waist, and his legs are short. So he has 2 heads. So he's really just 2 at the base. Let's do some sketching. Yeah, it's been an odd trip to get this all to work again. So I got a really thick brownie. I mean, hey Joe, good to see you, man. Good to see you. And you are replying through YouTube, which shows that YouTube is working. Thank God. So I'm not doing anything too dramatic, too dynamic, dramatic, whatever, in terms of his pose. He's still looking the same direction, but I want to give him like actual, like, kind of like a more hunched over, kind of gorilla, caveman-esque. Think of like the Groods. You ever seen the Groods? I'm gonna go on record. You know, cartoon characters get that suspension of disbelief. You know, Jessica Rabbit is sexy as hell, but she's obviously like super exaggerated. You know, so you can snap her in half if you're not careful. But you know, in the world of fantasy, in the world of art, you have a suspension of disbelief, and I'm just gonna say. The daughter from the Groods, is it Eep? I think Eep's the main. That's the main daughter. They managed to make like an attractive character who also drags her knuckles. Like her anatomy, when you see the anatomy, she is like this guy, like long arms, short legs, but she's cute. she's cute, but she's also a funny brute of a character. No, I did not see the sequels. The sequel to it, I didn't really care for it, especially because every trailer told the entire story of the sequel, which I hate. So as I probably mentioned before, when I made this character, I wanted to have like, I kind of ignored a lot of my anatomy note. You know, not that my anatomy is the best, but I kind of ignored like certain things of anatomy in order to give like a stylized form to what he looks like. So Thunder here has certain like he has like this pronounced like jawline. Like he like I wanted to get like a silhouette people would notice. So I'm sure I've mentioned before how I gave him like these round shoulders, like he has these round ball shoulders, just tube arms. Like just like straight tube arms, never muscle, like just angular. Like he was really angular the way I did him. But I think I'll do a bit. I'll switch away from this clip art looking style and just give him a bit more of anatomy. But I still want to keep certain features of him. The reason I don't want to change it too much is because then I have to go back and change all the artwork in the cards. And I've been making good progress, like redrawing a lot of the cards for the card game. So I don't want to have to redraw them all. Like this, the pointed nose and everything, like I'm going to keep like that stylized look on the cards. Because the cards are meant to look like they're kind of, they're meant to look like they're like cave drawings. So I don't really need to worry about the anatomy. There's a great drawing I saw online, and it was like, basically, this is what I hate. Trying to get that angle, how the eye sits when you're at a quarter angle. So this is drawing of just like this person losing their mind trying to get that particular like part of the face right. Just switching up the dimensions of the page. Yeah, original picture he stands kind of proud with a stick. Man with a stick, man with a mission. But here I want to give him the more like, he's kind of looking upward into the sky, a little hunched over. Seems about right, yeah. About 2.5 heads for the body. And then like 2 heads for the legs. Yeah, like little stubby legs. You gave him what we call the Ninja Turtle stance, where like the old Ninja Turtle figurines, where the back leg is always like in a walking position. Hello, Nature Cam. Good to have you. Nice to see you. I don't want to overdo. I don't want to overdo the length of the arms. It's not. You don't go full monkey. Never go full monkey. Yeah, so I'm basically redesigning an Cam. I'm basically redesigning this old character, this kind of like mascot character. He just has like the Fred Flintstone kind of like cloth that goes across. So I'm struggling between like keeping this really stylized, like the big round toes, like you know, the angular elbows. I'm struggling between keeping the stylized look of the original drawing, which was done years ago, and trying to like add a bit more of an like realistic anatomy, I guess you could say. Because once again, if I change the mascot design way too much, I have to go back and change everything associated with him, because he is part of a larger project I'm working on. Kind of like Blanca from like Street Fighter. Ah, hands, we meet again. I don't want to give him like that. What is it? The Bigfoot walk. he has such like a triangular shape in his original design. Like I think what I need to do is bring out the shoulders more. He's like he's like a hard triangle the way his body is like measured out. Get those knobby knees. Give me a second. I'm just going back to the chat. One-eyed green dude. So Blanca was green, obviously. But who's the name of that one-eyed green dude with horns? I don't know. Like there's like the core Street Fighter people, and then there's like tons of side characters that people kind of like. The only one-eyed green character I could think of is when they did, I think, Marvel vs. Capcom. But he didn't have horns. He was like an octopus. He was like this one eye with like just tendrils. I don't know. I'm assuming he was a Marvel character from some obscure Marvel comic. I remember there was like this floating Cthulhu-esque creature. Which, by the way, if you've seen the trailer for the new Doctor Strange, I think he shows up for like a split second. I think it's him. Oh, I'm sorry. You're talking about my intern. Sorry about that. That is the Monster Intern. If you check out some of the older YouTube videos over the past like year or so, the intern shows up. Here's my Monster Intern. He helps me out. And I decided whenever video games are played in the streams, I let him do video games. I want to keep, like, when I do the artwork, and since I don't really pay him, I figure let him play video games on my account. It's a good way to get around that. Yeah, that is the Monster Intern. Has a little tie and everything. He also comes along with me at all the conventions I do. So whenever I have a table, he's there, like, just for photo ops and stuff. There's two main individuals who help me with my videos, but they haven't they don't show up that much because I've been doing more streams than edited videos lately. I have a series of edited videos that I want to chop up, put together, and put up on YouTube eventually. But I've just been doing streams because it's just easy, sit down, do them, and that's it. There's my Monster Intern, and then there's Trix. Trix is a little robot. Her main body's about yay big, and she has this long tail, and she has like wheels for back legs. Trix shows up in a few of my videos. She is my editor, and she gives me lots of crap whenever whenever I'm not doing my job correctly. But she's more behind the scenes. So this guy has big old funny, like really, really big old funny toes. Just rounded toes. Once again, I was kind of going for like a Fred Flintstone-esque stylized design. As opposed to, like, and I had a few ideas for different, like, designs for the... Actually, let me change the perspective on this foot. I had a few different concept designs for Thunderhead. One of which was more like a Fred Flintstone. He was like a brick. He was just like this almost like arch way, kind of like this guy like this. I designed that because I thought originally I was gonna have tokens that were like that. But since I couldn't get tokens for that, I just designed like this individual character. Let's see, that's the shoulder. So right here should be the heel. Would it be beneath perspective? Perspective? There we go. Make the feet fat. There we go, much better. So, portfolio-wise, I do have a website. It's a Wix website. It was just somewhere to put like some my. When it came to just like collecting, because I do so many different things, it's kind of hard to like have a one set portfolio. But I do have a Wix website. Hold on, where's my eraser? But physically, when I go to conventions. The only real portfolio, printed portfolio, I bring with me is a concept portfolio for a video game I have, a video game concept. So I don't, my tape when I say I go to conventions, I mean I'm talking about more when I have a table. So when I have a table, my table is my portfolio. It shows that I do drawings, and it shows that I do sculpting work. It shows that I could do some puppetry work. It's a big blend. Everything's right there on the table. But in terms of presentation, I sometimes, depending on the convention, bring this big portfolio that has all copies of all the sketches I've slowly developed over the course of like over a decade. Like this started way back in high school, and every so often I'll add to it, and I have this portfolio of a video game concept. Meaning I have like the hero or heroine. Her name is Princess Spring, along with the villains for each stage, because each stage has a set of villains that you have to fight. You know how it is. That's a fire stage, not ice stage. So like I have the artwork for all the villains per stage. There's 9 stages. Each one has its own theme. I have the basic sketch work for the bosses. And it's all just sketch work, just to show someone, hey, I have this. And I've got 1 or 2 business cards from like, independent individuals who are like, oh, I know a little bit of programming. If you ever feel you want to get into making a game, let me know. It's a really, really more back burner thing. I just add to it and add to it. But it's getting to the point now where if I have enough of the concept, I have been thinking, outsource. Like, I can't do everything. So find someone who can do the programming. Find someone who might be willing to help me with the artwork. So they'll take my sketches and make them into sprites. And find someone who can do the music. Like, I've actually thought about it because I have this portfolio just sitting here. But when it comes to my personal work, I do have a portfolio website for it, and I should put it up on my Twitch account. I don't think I have it on my Twitch, but I have a portfolio website which is just a basic collection of what I have. And then of course, like I said, when I have a table, I have a table. In my earlier days at Comic-Con, before New York Comic-Con got really, really too crowded, like after Iron Man. Once Iron Man came out, it just opened the floodgates. Every casual person was showing up at Comic-Con. But on my early days at Comic-Con, I used to bring a portfolio to show to certain people. Because some people who have tables at Comic-Con, certain artists still look at portfolios. And there was a point I remember where companies were there looking at portfolios. And at that time, I really didn't have much to show anyway. But yeah, I don't carry it with me anymore because I'm too busy at Comic-Con meeting artists, getting autographs, taking video. It's just like, it's a blend of everything. I want to have fun, but I want to meet people. But unless like a particular thing shows up, that's like, hey, this company is going to be there, bring your portfolios, then I'll freaking right there and then I print out my portfolio right there for them. But yeah, but on the casual, I don't really carry it with me. It's just too much. Like if freaking Hasbro was like, we're looking for portfolio artists, I would take every single sketch I have of Transformer and toy designs, which are a lot, and I'll probably like clean them up a little bit and I'll bring it to them. Just like, here's my technical designs of how to make Transformers. I mean, the last stream I did, which is on my YouTube page, was me fiddling around with with a new Transformer concept. Why is my eraser so small? Come here, you. Well, conventions now, they've the average Joe, as they say, can do a convention. In fact, my first convention, ironically with my friend Joe, that we actually got a table at, was what was it called? It was by a group called Gotham City Games. It's literally just Gotham City Games. That was the group. It literally is just a store in Brooklyn. I think it's just one store, and it's all like retro games, but it's like a little rinky-dink store. Like they have a good selection, but a lot of people go there for like more retro games, older games, even a few Japanese games. And these guys own a store, and apparently they saved up enough money. This is a good number of years back. Maybe, well, I have to think about COVID taking up 2 years. Probably like 7 years ago at least. It was my first convention that I had a table, and they just this one group just hired this. They rented out the bottom floor of a hotel in Brooklyn, like by 82nd Street, and that was my first table ever. Because anyone could do, like, anyone with enough money could rent out a small spot. If you're looking for some nice conventions, PowCon, P-O-W. PowCon is like an umbrella company. So PowCon has their own convention, which regretfully they've had to move back. They were going to have one in February, but they moved it back. But PowCon also sponsored, they basically created beneath their umbrella, ToyCon and New York HorrorCon. No, Brooklyn HorrorCon, correctly. It was New York ToyCon and Brooklyn HorrorCon. I did those two this past year. And those were all the way at the Brooklyn Navy Yard, kind of far out. So PowCon's good, and I hope they continue with their HorrorCon and their New York ToyCon, because there's no like set convention where you could buy and sell toys in New York. Because Toy Fair doesn't count. There's like an actual convention where you go to buy and sell toys. That's nice. PowCon's nice. And there's Brooklyn Comic Con. Brooklyn Comic Con is also very nice. I believe they're going to be in the Brooklyn Expo Center. And thank you for reminding me, because after the stream, I'm going to go to their account and I'm going to apply for a table. If you're looking for some smaller conventions to walk around, that's not the madhouse that's New York Comic Con, Brooklyn Comic Con, and check out anything beneath PowCon. They're pretty good. Oh, so the two conventions I did, they were like, listen, you have to have a vaccination and you got to wear a mask, and everyone coming in had to wear a mask, and I believe also be vaccinated. So they were covered. Like, I'm not doing conventions unless I'm safe in general. And I was like, listen, I got my shots. I wear my mask, and even then the conventions, like, they were literally brand new conventions, so it was like it was a madhouse, to be honest. It wasn't a madhouse, but they were covered. Heck, New York Comic Con, everyone had to wear a mask. There was no one walking around who, sneakily took off their mask. No, everyone wore a mask. And New York Comic Con was actually surprisingly light, for New York Comic Con this year. They were actually kind of light for New York Comic Con. But I enjoyed it. You've probably seen it if you've seen my Instagram. I met Dante Bosco, Rufio. I got Rufio's autograph on a toy of Rufio. It took me 3 hours, the longest I've ever waited for an autograph. I got it at this year's Comic-Con. I'm happy I went this year. Tilt that back a bit. There we go. That way. I could move this around. angle, just to get the idea of like the angle of the stick he's carrying. Alright, so we have our basic sketch. I'm gonna do the inking, I'll clean it up even more. I just want to get the basic form. A little mixed on it. A little mixed compared to just his standard, you can probably see it under navigation. So that's the original in the navigation window. Just a standing tall, intelligent versus like him looking kind of But once again, I'm just having fun. I mean, I just need to draw him more often. He's a mascot. I need to draw him more often. Save as. It's gonna leave this under 1. It's funny you mentioned small conventions, because so like I often tell people who are like, oh, it's New York Comic Con, great. I go, yeah, but New York Comic Con, you gotta brace yourself. You have to, do your research in terms of what panels you want to see. You can't just go to New York Comic Con and be like, I'm just gonna walk around, because you'll never get anywhere. Smaller conventions that are like much more comic book oriented. Strange enough, for Big Apple Comic Con. But here's the thing, Big Apple Comic Con is only 2 days. It is a physically smaller Comic Con compared to New York Comic Con. But they charge a lot for tables. For 2 days, they want like $500. For 2 days. New York Comic Con, $500 gets you a half table. Table is usually 6 feet across, so 8 feet I think. I have to double check what tables they use. Let's say it's 6 feet. So it's a little half table. No, it can't be 6 feet. It has to be the 8 feet tables. So roughly 4 feet. $500 for a 4 feet table for all Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, for 4 days at Comic Con. Like that, I would spend. I wouldn't spend $500 on a 2-day convention. Then again, I'm a cheapskate that way. So, once again, when I drew down the head originally, really clean, like computer lines, maybe I'll go kind of this rough with this guy. Just have fun. Just like my not the cleanest ink lines. That was always my struggle when it came to doing computer art. Should I do like really clean lines, or should I not? Like what's digital clean compared to like digital pencil? By the way, even though I'm still learning to use it, this rotate, just on the fly, do. Oh, godsend, absolute godsend. Love this program. Not perfect, I'm still learning a few things, but I love the program. Let me see. One of my favorite conventions is Chiller Theater. Yep. So, for quite some time, myself and Joe, my good buddy Joe, Critorius Rex, have been talking about Chiller Theater. We've been talking about it like, man, we gotta try and do Chiller Theater. We gotta get a table there. It took us years. It takes years to freaking like build up. Like when we were younger, we were like, oh, we'll totally do conventions, and we had no idea what it entailed, how much money it cost, etc., etc. But yeah, Chiller Theater is definitely one I keep thinking of, which is why I mentioned HorrorCon, New York HorrorCon, the first like horror convention in the New York area. Out, aside, because New Jersey's is New Jersey. I was happy that they invented that. It was just this past year. Yeah, Chiller Theater is definitely something I want to look into, because I noticed a lot of stuff that I've made for the conventions land between video game fan art and horror. Well, technically, video game fan art, a little bit of horror, and tabletop artwork. But the tabletop stuff are like monsters, so like it works for horror. That's why I did HorrorCon in Brooklyn this year, because I was like, oh yeah, I could totally just like use the monsters I scoped to my tabletop stuff. So yeah, need to definitely get our game together, my buddy and I, in order to get horror stuff out. You know what's bothering me? Like, the way I designed Thunder, he has a bit of a long face. Here, he has like a blunted face. Maybe the eyes are too big. They could be adjusted. Yeah, it'll be adjusted. Yeah, that's why I am with in the artist alley. I go there looking for artists that I know, and then I start finding artists I just like, and I just start. Yeah, I usually now I know now I have a higher threshold of how much I can spend, but I still try to like make a cap off as to how much I'm spending. In fact, I have I got some artwork from this year's Comic-Con that I need to frame. I need to frame and find space in my house to hang up. My house has a lot more artwork from other people than me. So this year I met is it Brianna Sanchez? She used to go by the name Bree Chan on DeviantArt years ago. Then she more professionally started using her like actual name, like Brianna, and she does a lot of cool Disney stuff. Not so much like in the Disney's art style, which is why at first she used to say, "I'll never work for Disney because you have to draw in their art style." But she does work for Disney, I think now. I'm not sure exactly what she does. With that being said, though, I got a beautiful piece based on Rapunzel from her. So it's like this. It's not an original piece. It's it's a copy, but it's like a color pencil drawing of her. Now you wouldn't see the pointer finger past the freaking middle finger. Just if you're looking at the 3 fingers on the side, the pointer finger is definitely like hidden behind that. Okay. Maybe roll back to chat a bit so I can see what I'm looking at. Oh yeah, the hardware. They say if you look at the one of the ways to identify a male skeleton and a female skeleton, aside from the waist, of course, is that men still have like a residual. Like they've studied like on the large average of humans, they've noticed that some men still have like a residual marking for like a strong brow, as opposed to women. I should like just have the intern walk around and show off like it's not even too much. I mean I say it's not too much, but I do have like maybe man how many do I have? You know what? I probably do have like 20 or so pieces of artwork. And a lot of them need to be hung up. I just don't have the space for them. I just need to reorganize the space. I don't want to completely flood it. I have the artwork. A lot of stuff I have is just poster work I buy. And then I have shelves with my artwork, which is all small. A lot of it nowadays is small sculptures. So I have a bunch of sculpture work. And there is one piece I want to hang done by this one gentleman. He uses acrylic on like street signage, like the metal signs. So he sells the originals for like a lot more money than he sells poster prints. So I have this one sign that it's a blue metal sign that says no exit, and he painted over it this montage of the different scenes from the movie The Thing, and I want to hang up that poster. It looks amazing. Yeah, so unlike most artwork, I do draw what I call the pepperoni nipple. It's just that. The Caveman has that. So the music, by the way, because I'm always looking for music that won't get flagged by Instagram, not Instagram, Twitch. The video is called "Chill Vibes and Relaxing Game Music." It's a super long title. It's "Chilled Vibes and Relaxing Game Music Mix 3 hours." But essentially, it's by a channel on YouTube called Xmod Matt. That's XMOD MATT. Xmod Matt. And that's where I get it from. And the visuals is like really 80s. It's like it's like these tall mountains and a valley, and it's all like digital neon lines, like the old 80s like sci-fi digital neon lines that are blue and green, and you're just traveling through the valley like this, like going right through the valley itself. Yeah, so Xmod Matt. I like it. I got tired of the other one I kept playing over and over again. At one point I was using one of those 4 hours of ocean sounds, but if the quality's not good, like the sound of the water, because it's really just sounds of water and leaves, maybe a few birds, but the sounds of the water comes off kind of staticky, like across in the stream, like it just doesn't sound like actual waves of water, just bad quality audio. I want to give him like legit tattered cloth, not just a little like triangles I do. Like with the hair, like I'm actually giving like these long strands. Usually I just do like actually count. He has like usually has like 4 strands on one arm, 3 strands on the toes. But I actually want to give him like a bit of a hairy look, actual hair look. Obviously, the hair in his head is always shaped like freaking Ryoko from Tenchi Muyo. Which, by the way, is awesome hair. Like, I can never remember what her freaking clothes look like because she has like a 2 pattern like chest piece. Like one is green, one is blue, no, one is green, one is red. I always forget like what her outfit looks like pattern wise. But but Ryoko always had just that big spiked back hair I always loved. Thanks for joining. Have a good night, okay? Yeesh, it came out weird. It's a funny looking foot. I know why. Ow. Excuse me. I think his face is like too broad. It's not horrible. It's just kind of throwing me off a bit. But it does look good. It looks better than I expected when I'm happy with it so far. Like kind of mixing more my modern style with a little bit of the old stylized look I was going for when I made him. So it's that good in between. We're reaching the in between point. I think we have a bot again. I like that hand. That hand came out nice. Just shrink down this finger a little bit though. There we go. Hand's a bit big. Well, it's big compared to the other ones. That's what it is. The other one looks skinny. Kind of okay with the size of the hand. This one came out kind of skinny though, so maybe. So I widen, if I just want to widen out this one a bit more. There we go. I like it. I think one of his legs is out too far. Let me get the sketch back in there. Yeah. That leg is out way too far. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and erase part of it first. We're gonna just do like that. About yay much. And then also doing that puts the heel directly beneath his shoulder. And one of the things I learned that people tend to forget, if your character's off balance, it's because of the placement of the heels to the shoulders. So doing that, moving that in, definitely also corrects that issue. I just realized I drew the toes on this foot backwards. Yeah, this foot is completely wrong. The one that I was looking at it weird. I was like, something's off about this freaking foot. Yeah, big toe is on the inside. And that makes it look 100 times better. We're doing good. We are doing good. File save. Yeah. Maybe reduce the boniness of this arm here. Curve it off a little bit more. There you go. Just easy on those spiky edges. And that was my thing in high school. I started doing this thing where I started like drawing a lot of my characters with like angled edges, like really stylized, quick lines, quick angles, and it kind of works for some of the characters. But as I got older and tried to redraw those characters, they just didn't look as dynamic and cool anymore, because it was like a whole different style now. Excuse me, snack time. just updating some tags on different websites right now. Sorry. You know what? I'm happy. I started off kind of iffy about this. I'm happy. I like the way the shoulder is. It's not perfectly round. It has a bit of an edge to it. Like he looks good. Hydrate. So I'm doing this. I'm using the tattered cloth technique I learned from that guy in DeviantArt, which is basically do it like I always usually do, triangle, and then put some holes in it like that. And doing stuff like that breaks up the shape nicely. That's it. I'm like, I need to get into the habit of doing that more often. Mainly for tattered cloth. Cloth tatters in different ways. Ripped cloth versus like really dangling, dragging on the floor, tattered like this. This is the more Swiss cheese approach. Let me do this on a second layer just in case. Gotta put a leaf on it. Little tiny leaf. That is not a leaf. It looks like a flame. Try it again. Try it again, Dante. So the things I learned from working as a gardener, don't forget, branches have bark. So you have like the outer shell, when it strips, you have the outer shell, then you have the inner shell with the little rings around it like that. And that is like a really basic, very basic, broken tree branch. Caveman. Dun, 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 dun. Sorry. Trying to sing the He-Man theme. It just didn't work out. She-Ra, She-Ra. I will say this. I have said before, the new She-Ra series, it was nice. First season was a little rough, but following seasons took it to much better places. And as much as people might like it, as much as the fans like it, doesn't have the best theme song. It's not something you could really, I don't know. 80s theme songs were built to get stuck in your head. They were programmed. they were designed to get stuck in our head. There's a certain way 80s music, just 80s cartoon music just knew how to get stuck in kids' heads. There you go, man. Captain Caveman. I'm sorry, Captain Caveman's always gonna have to have that. Caveman. That raspy voice to him. I saw one short clip of Captain Caveman from the Scooby-Doo movie, and it was Tracy Morgan, I think, and I just don't like Tracy Morgan's voice. I think it was Tracy Morgan. I could be wrong. Whoever it was, I did not like his voice as Captain Caveman. Dude, I'm still too many freaking fan ideas. So I'm right now talking to people. Anyone who's watching this, I'm talking directly to my friend Joe. There's the Beetlejuice thing I sent you. There's the Mario one that I've semi storyboarded, and then there's the Captain Caveman one I want to do. I'm talking about fanfic stuff. Well, not even fanfic, but fake trailers, fake pilots for new series. A pilot for a new series. And I have down to the final movement and fight scenes, I have a pilot idea for Captain Caveman. And essentially it all boils down to Captain Caveman is a superhero, just like in the original cartoon. Superhero wakes up in today's timeline after being frozen. But what makes it interesting is that everyone else in the series are less cartoony than him. It's still a cartoon, but everyone else in the series are far less cartoony. Captain Caveman's the one who could get crushed by a piano and then come back up from it, and that is really what separates him from everyone else. He's still the cartoony Captain Caveman. Everyone else is slightly less cartoony, at least physically. How they react to stuff around them is still kind of suspension of disbelief. But I feel that's how you'd write a Captain Caveman story, and the main girls are actual detectives. They are hired as investigative detectives in a town that's completely comically riddled with crime at every corner. The town is completely inundated with crime at every bit. There's a guy who on a weekly basis robs the corner store, and him and the corner store owner are friends by now, but he still robs them. So they're basically a group of they're not vigilantes, but it's basically if the police had a vigilante on the payroll secretly. That's the idea I had. Oh god, the Donkey Kong one. Yeah, the Donkey Kong one. Too many ideas. Too many fanfic ideas. Too many. And all the fanfic ideas I have are singular one-shot stories. They're just singular one-shot stories that kind of set the world. But the Captain Caveman one is more of an action scene. It's it can either be just the action scene as a pilot, or it could be the action scene and the intro I have to go with it to kind of set the world up. Okay. I think we're good with this. Let me get rid of this. Let me combine the stick with the actual lines of the body. That hand still looks a bit large. I'll fix it. I like that hand. It's just a bit large. Not much, actually. If you look at the... Yeah, look at the... Yeah, look at the original and look at that. The hand isn't... I think the hand is not as large as that. The palm is long. I think I need to shrink down the palm a bit. Back. Nope. Damn it. How do you scale proportionally? Nope. That's moving it. Back. Cancel. What's going on here? Just the palm. I don't want to grab... I'm grabbing the stick by accident as well. Very true. It's very true. Like that's why I'm doing this. I'm like, oh, I could have just done another Transformer character, which I love. I love designing them. But I'm like, man, I really need to focus more on Thunderhead again. Let me get some new fan art out there. Personal fan art, I guess you could call it. That's better. Just shrink the palm down a bit. There we go. Yeah, I just had to shrink the palm a bit. It was kind of like... I think that's what was throwing me off on this guy. Wasn't by much, but... Got another small... Oop, nope. Got a small little bits of line here and there. Just want to clean this up a bit. It's always that balance between like loose ink, which I kind of like doing, like scratchy lines, and like refined lines. There's that balance in between it. Said though, like that. With that said though, I did some cross hatching in one of his palms. Maybe I should just continue the cross hatching here and there. Just like hints of cross hatching, just to like the hints of cross hatching with actual color work I'm gonna be doing. Yeah, doing like little bits of cross hatching like this, and then dropping and then doing shading with it. I think it just kind of, I like it. I think it adds to it. There's this one artist. I gotta find her name again on Twitter. She's on other accounts too, but like, she has this shading and cross hatching style. Granted, like it's partly because a lot of the male characters she does are these big guys with like hints of fur. I think her male character is like this semi-tiefling, I guess you could describe it. She has like purplish, like, it's not like heavy fur, but it's implied through the cross hatching and the coloring. It's like it's beautiful work. She captures like the sense of like maybe a thin layer of fur on the character's shoulders, and the guys are like big and like the guys are big and tall and muscular, but they have like that manly fur and hair mixture because the characters are not all human, but it's all done with like cross hatching. Yeah, that backhand's like really stiff. It's like almost directly side shot of the hand. I feel like if it was reaching back, I guess you would see more of the back of the hand like this. I kind of was going for, like I said, like the orangutan kind of like walk, the Bigfoot walk. I don't want to mess with it yet. I do. Once again, I still love his left hand. That came out perfect. Ooh, no. Cancel that. Almost hit delete. I meant to lock the layer and I went to delete it for some reason. Inks. Boom. And one more layer for, let's drop some flat color in here. There we go. Yeah. I'll probably do some cross hatching as well in his tunic. Is that what it's a tunic? I guess you call it a tunic. Now here I don't mind the colors being like they don't have to be perfect lines. Like this is a little scratchy because it's cloth, you know. labeled it as cloth. We're actually gonna do 2 layers. Gonna, you know, you have layers. Might as well use them. I'm going to essentially do the cloth on one layer, skin on the other layer. Well, why not? Color in the lines, they say. Color in the lines, they say. Never. A lot of this is just basic two-tone shading. You know, just cell shading, whatever you want to call it. It's just two basic tones. But that's kind of why I like using cross hatching. It kind of gives it a bit more dimension, I feel. Does it really? I don't know. I feel it does. Yes, we will be dropping maybe like a light blue background, just a flat color, just to catch all the little imperfections. Like you forget the color, the white of the eye is white, and then you realize it's just, you can see the background. You gotta fix that. It is 10:20, which means in about 10 minutes my alarm's gonna go off, which I think will be just enough time to get a lot of these flat colors in. That foot's kind of big. Is that foot kind of too big? Like too thick? We can adjust it. Nothing crazy. Not enough to bother me, just enough that I noticed it. Do this. Just plain white. Actually, you know what? Let me get a background in there because I need a background. No. Blue. There. It is. Nope, there's more green than anything else. There you go, lighter blue. That way I can see exactly what I'm doing when I start coloring the eyes. Like this. Nope, that is too much. Smaller. Nope. There you go, 10. I do this now, just white and white. I didn't do much in terms of coloring his nails. They're just white nails. Suspiciously clean for a caveman. I wasn't too like I said before, I wasn't too sure how this was going to come out. Like trying to get, trying to redraw a stylized character I've only drawn like once, but that looks good. Now the original drawing, he just has black beady eyes. Here, not so much. So we're going to go for brown as well. Just brown and brown and brown. maybe a little bit of yellow on the edge. Nope, that is white. A little bit of brownish yellow, please. Thank you. Yeah, just kind of make the eye. I usually don't do that. Like that. Like that is no. There we go. That's better. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, that looks nice. Look at him. Look at our little man. Look at our little man. So cute. What we're gonna do, where's our inks? There's our inks. Wand? Wand, it is, yes, wand it is. Did we cut into anything? We did not cut into anything. Good. Then you go here and then you go delete. That was quick. You go to the ink layer, select everything, as long as all the ink lines are connected, so you're not accidentally selecting the area you don't want. And then you select the negative space on the ink layer, go to the color layer, and then hit so you're still selecting, but you're taking that selection to a different layer. So technically it's selecting something different, but in the same location. And that is how you do like a nice like broad erase. Speaking of which, once again, we're in the ink layer. We are going to select the inside of the hair. We're going to go to the skin layer, and then we're going to drop that and that. Really quick. There'll be some edge issues, but it's just a quick way of doing it. You can see the edge issues. You can see a little bit of blue on the edges. Watching that clock. In 2 minutes, an alarm's gonna go off, and it's gonna be really annoying. It's gonna be on my phone, so I gotta find a way. I gotta get up. I gotta freaking undo my face cam just to shut the phone off. Just wanna finish this. This color is not black, but it's freaking close to it, which is annoying. It shouldn't be black, but it looks like it is. Yeah, definitely have to adjust the hair color. There it is. 1 second, guys. That wasn't so bad. Where was I? And now someone's calling me. Who the hell's calling me? Don't care, don't know you. Just going very sloppy with the hair right now. Just getting a general shape of like where everything should sit. Yeah, there's a color difference. It is so light. There is a color difference. I knew I was coloring something wrong. I'm over here like, why does it look like it's black? This looks like it's black. It's because it was. I must have selected. I must have missed it by a pixel and clicked on the wrong color. This is a dark brown. You know what? Yeah, we're going to adjust this. 'Cause I don't like the way that looks. If that's that, okay, so that's that. A little darker, I guess. Like over here. So what we're trying to do right now is find a dark version of this gray. It's not just black. Just by a pinch. A little better. Yeah, I'll fix the edges right now. Lots of gray. Like, this character has lots of just brown and gray tones in him. Alright. Randomly fill in some gaps here and there. Delete some bleed over, especially right here in his chest. That's too much. There we go, lock that. smidge of bleed over. There you go. In the lines, in the lines. Okay, so the stick isn't done, but that's okay. Let me do something I rarely do. I rarely do this. I should do it more often because it makes sense. I never do like shading in the eye. I always just do the eye white. I've always done that. And I should do shading because it rounds around. It rounds off the eye. Like it's a rounded object. And there we go. Stick's not done though, but let me see if I could bring up the original. Let me get rid of this stupid line there. There we go. So here's our original guy next to our new version of him. I think the head is a bit big, like the face is kind of big. I think he needs a more narrow, like long chin kind of face to really match the old look. Nothing too crazy, but something I can adjust. The eyes, I definitely gave him much more larger, pronounced eyes. Hey intern. I gave him much more larger, pronounced eyes, but the body, like I am happy with like the pose. I think the head is the head's a little big, but I think it's because it's just the where it's at, where it sits. There's also like no shading on this whole side of his face. You gotta add some shading in that to like give him, let it be just this big billboard of a face. But it does look good. It does look good. My hair looks horrible. In haircut. It does look good. I am happy with that. And I'm definitely going to go back to him and clean him up and then put him up on, because there is a Thunderhead Twitter account. It is called Thunderhead HFG. Thunderhead, History's First Genius, because that was the name of the card game. Thunderhead, History's First Genius. That was the name of the actual game itself. So Thunderhead HFG, and essentially it is Thunder posting on Twitter as much as a caveman can. He tries. But yes, I will be putting this image like on my Instagram account. Maybe update my DeviantArt. It needs an update for sure. And this is a card game that is in the works. Originally my very first card game, at a point in which I had no idea what I was doing, and I'm returning back to it to really define it and make it like a nice, it's a card and board game pretty much, kind of like a Monopoly style thing with a board, but it's cards you pick up as you go along. But yeah, but that's him. That is Thunderhead. And I want to say that is it. It is 10:38. Thank you, Nature Cam. Thank you, Joe, for joining the chat. Thank you all of you who are watching this. As always, this video and everything else will be put up later on. No, it's put up now. It is being saved for later viewing on my YouTube channel. Check out the links I have on the side for artwork of various types, and works in progress, etc., etc. And I think that's it. So once again, I am Dante. Like, favorite, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And I'll see you in the future. Later.